Hey guys, it's Tom Box here, and the tasty jams that you can listen to in the background is provided by Bad Snack. She's a really awesome YouTuber. She's also got a SoundCloud account. Go follow her if you want to listen to what I listen to when I'm looking for sick beats. Now, regardless, let's talk about the battle phase today. And why are we even bothering talking about the battle phase? Well, there's a couple of really relevant cases that have been getting mixed up and illegally played throughout, and I'm here to give you that clarification. Many people have been cheated out of winning a game because of these various things, so I want to give everyone that clarification. As usual, who are the main culprits? Well, it's Borrelsword's ability to change a monster's battle position to defense position. We also have direct attackers like Hayate and Lilybell. What happens when they get themselves negated by cards like Widow Anchor and by cards like Impermanence. And what happens if you use enemy control to switch positions of monsters during a battle. That's what we're going to be talking about today, and this video is brought to you by my Patreons and of course the Ruling Zone. Please be sure to go check out the Ruling Zone if you guys got any ruling questions, and in this video I will also be answering one ruling question. Luckily it's also related to the battle phase from the previous ruling video, so we'll stay tuned for that at the end regarding battle traps. So I'm going to deliver this segment in the form of a question, a little bit of a quiz for you guys, a bit of multiple choice, and you guys can kind of follow along. Give you guys 5 seconds to answer, then I'll give you the answer and provide you guys with the reasoning. How about that? Sounds a little more fun this way. And you guys can also test your knowledge. Okay, so number one, we're going to be answering the question of what happens when a direct attacker gets their effects negated. So let's talk about this one. Through the form of the example here. Player A controls an Alexandrite Dragon. Player B controls a Trickstar Lilybell. Player B declares a direct attack with that Trickstar Lilybell. However, player A retaliates and responds with a skill drain. So what happens next? I'm going to provide you guys with 3 answers. The 3 answers, 2 of them are wrong and 1 of them is correct. So that being said, let's look at this thing here. It states that A, Trickstar Lilybell's effect is negated, therefore it is unable to successfully proceed to the damage step because the attack target is no longer valid. And since we are in the battle step, however, Lilybell cannot declare another attack and no replay occurs because the number of monsters on the field did not change on the opposing side. Answer B, Trickstar Lilybell's effect is negated, the direct attack is no longer valid, and therefore a replay occurs in the battle step. Or is answer C, Trickstar Lilybell has already declared the direct attack upon the player, and the attack will proceed and continue to go through damage step and inflict battle damage. Man, I can't speak. So is it A, the attack is cancelled and you don't get a replay, or is it B, the attack is cancelled but you get a replay, or is it C, the attack will go through? 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam. Okay, so if you answered B in this case, you reinforce a replay, well, then you're correct. Yes, it does sound kind of counterintuitive, especially when you look at the rulebook. The rulebook does state hey, when the number of monsters change when you declare the attack, you get to declare a replay on your attack. That is true for the most case. However, for a direct attacker, the number of valid attack targets also matter because you can kind of consider yourself as almost like a monster, and because you are no longer a valid attack target, you get a replay because you're still in the battle step. That's how it works. So the number of valid, if your target is no longer valid, you get yourself a replay on that regard. You guys can look it up in the judges forums. You guys can look it up. It's been posted in a lot of places. And therefore, you get that replay that you might not even want because usually direct attackers are pretty darn weak. Now, this is only if a monster is on the field blocking you from doing a direct attack. Just because someone declares a direct attack and you negate their effect, even though there's no monster, there's nothing hindering you from doing a direct attack that makes you an invalid attack target. So that's something to be aware of. So in this case, to summarize it, if you do a direct attack and your monster gets negated before it gets to the damage step, you get to enforce a replay. So as a follow-up to that previous scenario, what happens if you negate the monster's effect during damage step? So, same scenario, Lilybell declares an attack, but this time, instead of activating Skill Drain, we proceed to the damage step, and on damage step, player A chooses to activate Forbidden Chalice, negating the effect of Trickstar Lilybell and boosting it by 400 attack points. Because of the attack modifier, you can't activate the Forbidden Chalice spell card during the damage step. What happens then? So I got two answers for you. Got 50-50 chance of getting this one right. Most of you guys should get this one right, I think. So Lilybell is negated and therefore cannot finish the direct attack. Also, no replay occurs because you have already reached the damage step. Or is it B? Lilybell is negated but will proceed with the damage step because you have already reached damage step. So in other words, the damage will continue to go through. Is it A, the attack gets cancelled, or B, the attack goes through with a bit of a damage boost? Alright, so if you guys answered B, the attack will continue to go through. That is correct. Once you have reached damage step, that's it. The attack has already left the hand. It's about to land. That's what damage step is all about. Why else do you think that during the damage step, only negation cards and I guess attack modifiers are the only ones that are able to activate during that phase, because the attack will usually continue and succeed, and that's where that kind of comes from. Just because the attack is I guess the direct attacker technically cannot no longer do a direct attack, it doesn't matter because the direct attack has basically already landed. It's a bit too late to negate it. So in that case, once you've reached damage step, the attack is basically considered 90% there. It's basically landed. That's what I'm trying to get at. Now, I want to elaborate a bit more on the damage step here on several cases. Now, if you have already reached damage step, that particular monster can no longer declare another attack, even if the number of monsters on the field change. And I'm going to provide you guys with an example of Construct, El Shaddol Construct. Whenever she attacks a special summon monster, she destroys it at the start of the damage step. Have you noticed that Construct cannot declare another attack in that same battle phase because of the fact that you have already reached damage step? And the same context can be also triggered by like a True Draco player through the use of True Draco's Apocalypse. Now, through a True Draco Apocalypse, of course, you can destroy one of your own True Draco cards. Once you've destroyed one of your True Draco or True King cards, you can have the attack and defense of everything on your opponent's side of the field. And because it does include an attack modifier, this is a valid card you can activate because it is also a trap card. And because of that, if you do remove the attack target from your opponent's attack, say you have like a masterpiece on one side of the field and declare an attack onto the Majesty's Maiden, and you use your True Draco's Apocalypse, pop your Majesty's Maiden during the damage step, the other card cannot, well, declare another attack because it was already during the damage step, and therefore no damage will go through. Does that make sense, guys? Once you reach damage step, there is no replay, and if your attack target goes missing during the damage step, that's it. That's the end of that attack. Alright, so that was the direct attacker kind of summary. Let's go on to the next question. Alright, so for the battle position changing during the battle phase, this is mainly because people are playing Boral Sword Dragon and it has affected several things, I suppose. But regardless, let's talk about this. So, player A controls a Stardust Dragon and a Boral Sword Dragon. Stardust declares an attack on the opposing player. The opposing player activates enemy controller targeting the Stardust Dragon. However, the player A controlling the Stardust and Boral Sword activates Boral Sword in chain to the enemy controller, putting his own Stardust Dragon into defense position. What happens next? So, is it A, Stardust Dragon is put to defense position through Boral Sword, and then put back into attack position through the enemy controller, but cannot continue the attack and cannot redeclare another attack? And then there's B. Stardust Dragon is put to defense position, then put back into attack position. The attack will continue because the battle position changes occurred in the exact same chain, and therefore nothing is hindered. Or is it C? Because of the battle position changes from defense to attack, Stardust gets to redeclare another attack. So, is it A, B, or C? And if you answered B, you guys are wrong. The attack will not continue. And if you answered C, you're even... I don't know, you guys should probably read a rulebook if you guess C. The answer is A. It is put to defense, then put back into attack. However, the attack cannot continue. Normally, a monster in defense position cannot attack. The moment that you put a monster into defense position, the attack got cancelled. It does not replay, it does not reoccur or anything. Just because you change in the same chain, that does not mean that you get to continue your attack. Your attack got held back, and that's the end of that. You're just back in attack position, ready to go again. However, there is no replay because the number of monsters on the opposing side did not change. The number of attack targets didn't change for that particular monster, so that's not going to happen. Besides, you got put to defense position. That's the only real thing that we really care about, and let's not try to get out of context. The monster was changed to defense position, and therefore the attack got cancelled, even if you put it back into attack. Now, that being said, this only really applies to typical monsters that cannot attack in defense position. But what about those who can attack in defense position? And by that, I'm talking about monsters like Cocytus from the Invoke side, or Super Heavy Samurai Benkei, or like Total Defense Shogun. What happens to those guys in particular? Well, I'm gonna use the case of Super Heavy Samurai Benkei and replace the Stardust Dragon. And I'm gonna rearrange the chain slightly because, well, first of all, Boral's Sword Dragon can't put a defense position monster into defense. So in this particular case, we're gonna have player A with the Benkei plus the Boral Sword Dragon, and then we're gonna have the opposing player, player B, with the enemy controller. So in defense position, the Benkei declares an attack towards our opponent, player B. Player B activates enemy controller to put Benkei into attack position so that he would take less damage. If you put a guy into attack position, does that mean the attack stops? Well, no. It just calculates with a different, I guess, attack value, the attack stat, rather than the defense stat. So that being said, the attack will basically proceed. But what happens when the Boral Sword Dragon puts Benkei back into defense position? What then? So in the attack declaration, enemy controller was activated, and then in a separate chain in the battle step, Boral Sword Dragon puts Benkei back into defense. Does the attack get cancelled, or does it continue? Give you guys like 2 seconds. This shouldn't take too long, because, well, the attack of Benkei will continue. Why? Because under no moment in this entire chain was an attack gonna be stopped. Because Benkei can attack in defense position, it can attack in attack position. Changing the battle position of that particular monster has no effect aside from looking at different stats. So in that case, Benkei will be able to get the full damage by using its defense stat instead. Yeah, so you gotta look at this in a kind of a case-by-case basis. You just have to really just point down at is there any point in this interaction where the battle could not have occurred? And that's just my explanation here. You guys can also ask these questions at the ruling zone. Alright, time for the viewer requested ruling. I'm reading it right here. It states, what's the ruling for battle traps? I have a friend who runs some battle traps. I declare an attack, he activates Mirror Force in I chain Odd-Eye's Vortex's effect, then he chains Storming Mirror Force. Can he actually do that? The answer to that is yes, and this is in regards to response windows, because a lot of these card effects you activate in response to something, and for most of these so-called battle traps, they're responding to your attack declaration. There are multiple timing windows that I can bring into this kind of context, and you can see how these chains kind of work out. So starting off with a summoning window. If I summon out Alexandria Dragon, my opponent can activate bottomless trap hole. That being said, I can also chain my own torrential tribute to that particular card, because the entire window is a response to the summon, and anything that's related to that summon can be responded to. Alright? So that's kind of like how that draw lock combo works, really, because a card has been added to my opponent's hand. Now the activation of Drone Lockbird is now live, but I can activate stuff before that, because as long as there's still spell speed 2 and quick like effects, you can still activate them. So that's how the draw lock combo works. My opponent adds a card to their hand, I now chain Reincarnation or Disturbance Strategy, and then I chain my Droll and Lockbird on top of that, which makes it so that, okay, now you can't add any more cards, and now I have to resolve as much as possible for the other cards without giving them any additional cards. That's how the draw lock combo really works. It's in response to a card being added to hand. And in this case, these battle traps are just mainly in response to your attack declaration. Anything that has an attack declaration clause can still be activated in that particular chain. Now, once you've passed that chain, that's a different story. You may still be in the battle step, but attack declaration cards cannot be activated anymore. You can activate stuff like Book of Moon, Compulsory Evacuation Device, but once you've passed the attack declaration part of the battle step, that's it, because that was the timing for those particular cards, like Dimensional Prison, Sakuretsu Armor, all the Mirror Force families. They require an attack declaration window for you to activate and chain on top of them. So yeah, that's it really. If that didn't make any sense, well, go to the ruling zone. They can then definitely help you clarify it better than I can. And that is all I got for this video. If you guys got a ruling question, leave it down in the comment section below, and maybe the comment section will answer it for you. Hopefully you guys got a better understanding of the battle phase. If you guys enjoyed this video, learned something or two, hit me up with a thumbs up. Check out the ruling zone. Can't recommend that enough, because you guys don't have to ask me questions. You guys can ask those guys. Those guys are ruling gurus after all. And if you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, hit that subscribe button. And if you guys want to do me a favor, check out my most recent food porn video down at MST.TV, where I went to Dublin, Ireland, and I had some pretty damn delicious food. But until next time, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV and stick around for an upcoming giveaway, which I will announce very soon. This one, official product, official mats, stuff that I can't even keep myself. Pretty excited for it. Stick around, guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.